Alright, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm Chicago Karl, and today we are breaking down and previewing the AL Central. This, in my opinion, is going to be one of the best divisions in baseball this year. I'm pumped to start watching some games with all of these teams. My favorite team, the White Sox, are in this division. So we're going to go over some in-depth coverage and predictions of how I think the season's going to turn out. But before we do that, make sure to follow us on Instagram at chicagokarl.yt. Make sure to check us out on Twitter at chicagokarl. And make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It would help my channel out a lot, help us grow, and continue to tune into later videos. And let me know what you thought about this video in the comment section down below. Let me know your predictions. I'd like to see them. I'd like to see what you guys think. So, coming in last place, this should be a surprise to no one who watches baseball. We have the Detroit Tigers. And the main reason for this is because, the Tigers have a weird case of, they got some old aging veterans who they're just waiting to retire, waiting for their contracts to go up, and they've got a good core of young pitching and other prospects coming in. Miguel Cabrera has been here forever, it seems, since I was a kid. It seems they're just waiting for his contract to go up. I believe he's 38, 39, something like that. He'll play first base and DH this year for the Tigers, but he's not going to be a big production guy. He hasn't been for years. On the other hand, though, they have guys like Casey Mize, out of Auburn. I'm excited to see. He didn't play too well in 2020, but he got some games under his belt. He's got a whole new year to prove himself. The Tigers are going to trust him. He's going to be their guy. He'll be a fun guy to watch, and hopefully he delivers. Hopefully he can get a good thing going, and hopefully we can establish a pitching rivalry, maybe with Lucas Giolito on the Sox or something like that. But he's a good guy. As far as the rest of the roster goes, no one else really stands out. They've got Robbie Grossman, who they got from the Athletics. He'll be a good piece. They've got Wilson Ramos, came over from Washington. He'll be good. Jacoby Jones has been here forever. He'll be an okay guy. They've got Daniel Norris, Jose Urena, another young guy who I think is going to help them in the pitching department. Jonathan Scope is a second baseman who I think is versatile and could help them. They've got Nomar Mazara, who will be a fun guy to watch. They got him from the Sox. He didn't play too well on the South Side last year, but you never know. Maybe he has a up year compared to last year. And that's about it. There's really no one else that I think stands out. No one else that I think is really worth paying too much attention to. You've got Yeimer Calendario. You've got Nico Goodrum. That's it. I don't think this team is making a deep playoff run. I don't expect them to make a deep playoff run. They're going to be basement dwellers. Give them between 60, 65 wins. That's where I think they belong this year. After that, coming in fourth place, I have the Royals. Royals out of Kansas City, owned by Patrick Mahomes. They made some splashes in the offseason, I guess. They did get Andrew Benintendi. They did pick up Carlos Santana. I guess they got Michael Taylor. That's about it. There's not a whole lot really going for this Royals roster. And again, this is similar to Detroit. They've got some old guys that are there and they're just waiting to retire, waiting for their contracts to go up. And they've got a good mix of young guys that are coming into the core of the team that will define this team and be this team's image for years to come. Obviously, for free agency, they got Benintendi, Santana, like I said. On top of that, last year they acquired Jorge Soler, who was a very, very underrated player. They got Mike Minor from Atlanta. And yeah, that's this Royals roster. Okay, there's not much that stands out. Whit Merrifield, I have him on my fantasy team. He's going to be a big average guy. He's going to steal a couple bases. He's just going to get on base a ton. Salvador Perez, been here forever. They're just waiting for his contract to go up. He's well out of his prime. Hopefully he can stay healthy this year, though, and provide some coverage behind the dish. Brady Singer out of Florida, hopefully he's going to make his debut for this team. He's looked good. Alberto Mondesi is a young guy who is going to improve. In my opinion, he's going to continue to get better with time and with games. Obviously, I said they have Jorge Soler. He's an underrated guy that could this year give you 35, 40 home runs if he stays healthy. Nicky Lopez at second base is a really underrated guy that I enjoyed watching last year. He's out of Northbrook. He hits for average. Little guy, pretty quick. The rest of the roster is not much to really cover. Uh, Danny Duffy is gonna be Danny Duffy. He's not good. Hunter Dozier, first baseman. I think he's poised for a decent year. I think he could be a good addition to this team. Besides that, Greg Holland, Brad Keller, Cam Gallagher, Ryan McBroom, no one really notable. Those guys aren't going to contribute much to the win column. They're just going to be a good supporting cast. And the Royals are just going to wait for their minor league system to develop their guys that they've gotten over the years through the draft and whatnot. And we're just going to see how that plays out this year. So coming in third place, right in the middle of the pack, we've got the Cleveland Indians. Obviously, the Indians, the big move for them in the offseason was losing Francisco Lindor. He was essentially the face of Cleveland. There's gonna be a huge hole at shortstop that's probably gonna be filled by Ahmed Rosario, who they acquired in that Lindor trade. But let's just be honest here. Ahmed Rosario is no adequate replacement for Francisco Lindor. Lindor is one of the best shortstops in the game of baseball, and Ahmed Rosario is just nowhere near up to par to him. But regardless on the roster, they've got Jose Ramirez at third, who's always going to be a fun guy to watch. They've got Ahmed Rosario, like I said. They've got Eddie Rosario in left field. He's a quick, fun power hitter to watch. Andres Jimenez is a young guy. Shane Bieber, who is a possible Cy Young candidate. He pitched his head off last year. Amazing pitcher. Fun to watch. Catch his starts when you can. They've got Josh Naylor, Tristan McKenzie, Bobby Bradley, Cesar Hernandez, who is a really underrated utility guy. You've got Logan Allen, Zach Plesac, another pitcher who I think is underrated. James Karinchak, I think, is going to be good. Oscar Mercado is going to be good. Roberto Perez is going to be good behind the dish. And that's this roster. Also, they have Anthony Savali. He's a fun guy to watch. Aaron Savali. He's a fun guy to watch. Hopefully, he doesn't break the COVID protocol this year, but you never know. What are you going to do? I think Cleveland's going to have a fun pitching roster, and they're going to have a good rotation, a good pen. That's about it. Jose Ramirez is the only real offensive bright spot on this team. And that's all I got to say about Cleveland. I think they'll be... It wouldn't surprise me if they can be in that 75 to 80 range. I think that's where they belong. And hopefully they can make some moves, acquiring some guys through trades and whatnot. But if not, then that's what they're going to do. And they're just going to continue to fall, hopefully tank, and hopefully they just go in a direction, because you don't want to stay in the middle of the pack in baseball. It's not going to help. Second place, we've got the Twins. So, the Twins. They took first place last year, but only because the Sox just choked, okay? That's the only reason they took first. The Sox had a lead, I think at one point, like 6 or 5 games, and they were terrible down the stretch last year, and the Twins came back. They rightfully so won their games when they could, and they capitalized. As far as the roster goes, big standouts for the Twins this year are going to be Kenta Maeda. They've got Nelson Cruz, who continues to defy the laws of age somehow. He just gets better every single year. They've got guys like Jay Happ, who's a fun guy to watch. I already said Kenta Maeda, but they've got Andrelton Simmons, who is just a shell of his former self, but he'll still be a good, serviceable guy at short. Obviously, Josh Donaldson's a big guy. Jorge Polanco is an underrated guy on this team that I think could produce some good numbers. Alex Colomé came over from the Sox. He's going to be a good guy in that bullpen. Miguel Sano, hopefully he doesn't get 100 strikeouts in 50 games. Who knows? Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But if he can make more solid contact, put some balls in the air, he'll be a great addition. They still have Jose Barrios, who is one of the more underrated players in all of baseball. Matt Schumacher, Hansel Robles. That's about all I really got to say for this team. They do have the sexiest player in all of baseball, Willians Astudillo, the Turtle. La Tortuga, he will be a good addition. Hopefully he stays up with his team. I know he's been up and down with AAA and the majors for quite some time, but hopefully he's serviceable. Hopefully he can stay. He'll be a fun guy to watch. And that's all I gotta say. I think the Twins could be between an 81-85 win team this year, and I think that's a bit optimistic. I really don't think that the Twins this year are going to be as good as aren't going to be much better than the Indians. But yeah, And every year, it seems like the Twins get overlooked. Hopefully, this year is not another year, because I don't want to be wrong in my prediction, but who knows. That's just where I think they'll be sitting in that 4 spot. I think they can make a serious push for a wild card play-in, but in a 1-game series, who knows what happens there. But yeah, that's just what I gotta say about the Twins for the most part. And coming in first place, this should not be a surprise to anybody. Number 1, my favorite team, the White Sox. And this is not bias. I think the White Sox have one of the most intriguing rosters in all of baseball. I think they're the second best team in the entire American League, right behind the Yankees. I think they're a top 3 team in baseball, top 4 team. Maybe you can make the case that the Padres are a bit better this year, but I think they're up there with the best of them, okay? The big reason for this, Sox have a great pitching core on their roster. They have they just got a new pitching coach in Katz. They've got Giolito is the one guy. You've got Keuchel, who has looked rough spring training, but he'll get it together. You've got Lance Lynn in that 3 spot. And on top of that, you've got guys like Ronaldo Lopez, Carlos Rodon, Michael Kopech, who you can all make a case for could eventually find their way into the starting rotation. Garrett Crochet is a young guy in the pen who is lights out of Tennessee. Liam Hendricks is their closer, arguably one of the best closers in baseball. So pitching is not going to be a problem for this team at all. It won't be. On top of that, though, on the offensive side is also where this team shines. You have the reigning MVP, Jose Abreu, at first base. You've got the catcher situation is a bit mixed up right now, but you have the option to go with either Zach Collins, Yasmani Grandal, who is probably going to be their main guy. You've got Yermin Mercedes, who has looked good in spring training. On top of this, you've got there's just so many other options there. Second base, you're gonna mainly see some Danny Mendick, Nick Madrigal there. Shortstop, obviously, you're gonna see TA7, my favorite MLB player. And at third base, we're probably gonna see Yoan Moncada more than we see anybody else. But Danny Mendick could also play there if he's needed to, and so can Yermin, I believe. In the outfield, we've got Luis Robert. You have Adam Engel, who just got hurt. Hopefully, he can get back to action soon. Eloy Jimenez, who's so fun to watch. And yeah, that's all I gotta say about this team. I mean, they're gonna be they have one of the best bullpens, one of the best rotations, one of the best infields, one of the best outfields. I don't see what's not to love. Hopefully, they can stay consistent and they won't go, like 1 for 10, 1-9 in their last 10 games. That is horrible. If they can stop themselves from doing that, this team is a perennial World Series contender. I would 100% believe in the Sox this year. That's all they gotta say. So, thank you for sticking around to the end of this video. If you liked what you saw, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. You can check us out on Twitter at Chicago Karl to be notified about uploads. You can check us out on Instagram at chicagokarl.yt. Drop a comment down below telling me what you thought. And continue to tune in to future baseball, basketball, and various other sports videos. We're going to be breaking down the latest news and action. And yeah, have a nice day.